Before you say anything, I'm not gonna do an intro quite yet. I might. It depends. Roll for initiative.
I got a natural one.
I got a 4. All right, welcome to the 2D Research Podcast, where we now roll for initiative to see who does it.
We should actually do that every time.
Yeah,
Start rolling.
That's pretty fun, yeah.
And whoever gets the higher one does the intro.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah. We'll have to roll for thumbnail. Man, so I know we have a few things to talk about, which we didn't run by one another beforehand, so it's actually going to be like really fresh on the mind. It'll be kind of fun, you know. We did do a couple other things that we were going to briefly go over, but to get it started, did you have anything you wanted to just put out there, like right off the get-go?
Because like the surprise thing I want to do, we can do it a little later.
Okay.
When we kind of taper out.
Yeah.
Don't really have a whole lot to talk about unless we start talking a lot. Then
right. Yeah.
You know, at a certain point, it probably only need like 10-15 minutes for my thing.
Okay.
But we got a bit of news to go over.
Yeah.
You got something. I got a couple things. Those are probably pretty quick. And then we did a little anime swap that we started. So wherever you want to start, I mean.
Yeah, so, you know, it's like a blessing and a curse. We've done enough videos now to where I don't remember everything we've talked about.
Yeah.
So we might be double treading on this one, but I do not recall talking about this extensively. But now being, you know, on the closer end of 30 episodes deep, we might have, because this was May. But I saw it recently, and it sparked a interest. Like, I don't think I've seen this before, but maybe we briefly mentioned it. Anyways, so the man who married a hologram in Japan, was it Hatsune Miku?
Yeah.
Okay, so he married essentially the hologram Hatsune Miku. He can no longer communicate with his virtual wife. I found that.
Did you read this?
Sad.
It's the software.
Yeah, that allowed the interaction is no longer supported, and the man can no longer interact with the hologram when she had a relationship for years.
It's like being married to somebody and dementia starts taking them, and you can't talk to them anymore.
Oh God, that really.
Because I remember when this first happened, where he like legally married the Hatsune Miku hologram, and then I saw this a couple months ago. That's what I don't know if we talked about it, because I don't know if we really like delved in depth, or like maybe I heard it somewhere else and I'm just thinking I had the conversation with somebody. But I remember this happening, and it's I feel bad for him, but it's fucking hilarious.
But this even the article, you know, briefly what we read, it leads to more questions than answers. Like, it was obvious. Okay, so it's a hologram. So he owns this hologram? Like, there had to be some purchase in place.
Yeah.
Like,
is there? Yeah, there's the hologram.
Yeah, because I feel like there would be a certain legality to, you know, because it is Hatsune Miku. I don't know how that all works, but also, like, I imagine it's not like AI generated. Like, he's not really conversing with this hologram.
No, not like that. It's probably just like...
It's not like a Cortana.
It's probably like one of those things where you say things and it just picks up keywords and like kind of responds to you.
Like, I love you. I love you too, darling. Like something like that. Yeah, like...
Nothing super crazy. Like, they're not, you know, going over philosophical standpoints and, you know, talking about bills and stuff. It's just like he married the fucking hologram. Yeah.
I mean, do you... Like, honest, the question has to be asked. Do you think they were, like, intimate?
Oh, probably. Maybe not him and the hologram, but look, you see that little plushie he's holding?
But, I mean, like, I'm sure the hologram had witnessed things that, like, the Japanese government, you know, that's surveying it is just like, oh, God.
Oh, yeah. Does it have, like, recording features?
Yeah, that's what you wonder.
Video camera, you know?
Yeah, because... You know, at least some. Obviously, you can't go in a hologram. You could go through a hologram, but there had to be some, you know, some voyeur.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, if there's one thing I know from VR chat is that, you know, phantom sense. It's, you know, maybe he just puts it through the hologram and he feels like he's there.
Because, yeah, it's just, and I will say after the other night where we spent like 2 hours just watching hentai and giving criticisms on it, like it definitely broadened my spectrum of, oh, I guess that can make sense.
Yeah.
That's how a monk purifies apparitions.
And just think, if there's people like us doing that,
yeah,
this isn't even the weirdest guy out there.
You know, life imitates art, you know? Like,
exactly. This guy is probably like still on the more normal end of things. He's just like, yeah, I just, you know, I fell in love. I mean, have you ever heard of the people like the girl who's in love with the Eiffel Tower, or the girl who's like sexually attracted to planes?
Yeah, you know, there was one, and this one was very niche and specific, and she was married to, it was a carnival ride.
I remember that.
She had purchased, and she had like an RV, but she would haul it around with her, and it had a name, and like, yeah, she'd go out, and it was very like, she was affectionate towards it. She'd kind of like, you know, rub it and put her face against it and be like, oh, I love you, honey. You know,
imagine inviting her to a wedding and just being like, God damn it, knowing that her plus one was going to be a whole ass fucking... I mean, that would be kind of cool, actually. You know, her plus one is going to be a carnival ride, but so you're like, there will be a carnival ride at the wedding, everybody.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, don't you dare touch my husband.
People try to go up for a ride, and she's just like...
swatting them away.
Yeah, she thinks that it's like cheating.
Well, and I feel like there's so many things you have to like, it's so much bullshit you have to feed into. She's like, oh, you didn't ask Steve if he wanted chicken or steak. I'm like, Karen, it's a carnival. I said, aren't you going to ask my husband what he wants? And they have to just let a plate of food sit there and go to waste.
Yeah.
They're like, look, it's not cheap steak. They're like, Steve wants chicken.
They put like balsamic oil, but it's just actual oil instead of just like a oil dressing.
She's smashing the chicken into her carnival ride husband.
She just dips her towel into some balsamic, and she's just stroking the shafts.
They're just
like, yeah,
you're getting into an argument.
You
are just off the rails right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what a miserable existence. But
hey, you know, if they're not hurting anybody, that's fine.
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know. I feel like
it hurts
weird.
Me to watch.
Yeah,
but
fair.
You know, the thing is, I chose to watch.
Yeah,
that's
you can always choose to leave that situation.
I can choose, but it's just it's so like it draws you in.
Yeah.
We're interested.
It is really interesting. Just like I don't know, man. I just can't imagine like why. How does this happen? Like, how do you fall in love with Hatsune Miku and you marry a hologram? It's so strange. I mean, kudos, you know, good on him.
Yeah.
You know, glad. I'm sad that he can't talk to his wife anymore, but I just don't know how it how does that happen? You know, I feel like there's studies that need to be done into these things that like this didn't happen 100 years ago. You know, there wasn't like some. Or like even thousands of years, you know, there wasn't Neanderthals like, or maybe there was.
I was saying maybe there was the rock. Equivalency. Yeah, like, you know.
A really smooth rock.
Battle-worn helm husband, you know?
Yeah.
It could have been a thing, but yeah, I think, well, especially with this, I will say for this much, I can understand this though significantly more than like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Because this has... It's a personification. It's what's the term where you like, you know, personify? There was another word for it where it's like, you know,
I know what you mean.
Give something human qualities and features like in a story, like an anime. But yeah, because you know she had emulated a human voice, and you know, somewhat reminiscent of human, you know, features. I could see how somebody could fall in love with that. That's why it's like we have a crush on, you know, characters and stuff, because like there's a real human voice behind it and there's certain qualities to that. But yeah, it's like with the roller coaster.
Yeah.
Carney ride, it's that like there's nothing.
Entirely understand outside the like maybe there was some situation where it was like it wasn't the roller coaster itself, but because from an early age there was like an experience. You know, maybe the roller coaster made them feel a certain way, and then the brain just started relating roller coasters to that positive feeling, and then it blossomed into this thing of like faux love, you know?
Yeah.
But I just don't understand. Like, I get like being like, oh, I love these things, you know, being super interested in them, but like to go to the lengths of like marrying a hologram or being attracted to roller coasters and stuff in that way. It's just, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, but the mind is a crazy thing.
Yeah, and that's where, we get into like a very potent philosophical standpoint, like, what is love? But like, if it's not reciprocated and it is this one side kind of affection, infatuation, like can you say you're in love with something that can't reciprocate it?
Yeah.
There is no mutual bond. It's you enamored with this, idea or object, but it's giving you nothing back.
Yeah, it's just kind of like inherently sad to me that like they're in love with something and they don't get anything back from it.
Like, it's hard enough to love somebody that doesn't love you back, but we still do it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there's no confirmation with this. You can't say it doesn't love you back.
Yeah.
Whereas another human being, you could be like, yeah, they definitely don't love me anymore.
Especially with this, did she just have like an AI voice and he's like, Hatsune, will you marry me? And she was like, of course, silly. Like, just like a typical response to a question.
You would think they would have filmed the ceremony, or maybe he's a very private person, but... I mean, no, he's here taking a photo and just suited up and... Oh, there's him on his wedding day. So he has the doll with him.
Yeah.
Fictional sexual relationships, ideal for the metaverse.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I think they're like, if you dig a little deeper, you can find a lot more information about this, probably.
Yeah. Like, we really didn't even begin to read it.
He's done some like interviews and stuff, but I don't know. A part of me also too just sees it as like maybe they've convinced themselves, but it's really just to get the traction. Because look at these photos, like they're professionally taken. He's getting interviewed. He's having articles written about him and stuff. Maybe he's just going for that check mark on Twitter,
True. It could be a publicity thing. Like, is this genuine? Maybe he has a family and kids,
Yeah.
outside of this, pseudo marriage. But at the same time, these things, I would imagine, aren't possible without like some level of affluence and like having money.
Yeah.
This looks very well shot. He has the tux. Like, people that are living within their means and getting by, they're not going to be like, I'm going to go marry a hologram and spend money on a wedding and stuff. Like,
unless, I mean, the work culture in Japan can be significantly different to a point where like maybe he is just like spending so much of his time at work that the only, positive thing that he has outside of work is this connection he has to Hatsune.
Which, this does say something, because I feel like going back on what we were saying as far as like a publicity sign, getting that blue check, that seems very viable in the U.S., but in Japan, think of how much more this hurts him as far as like, let's say, his current job, his workplace. Because obviously this is open knowledge. It's public. He's posting this to accounts.
He's not hiding from it. Or if he tries to get
a future job, it's more of a hindrance, because just the way the culture is, like, they're not going to be openly accepting, oh, that's great, you're married to a fictional character hologram.
Yeah.
That's just... I feel like that would give him more hardship than anything. There has to be some driving force to make him continue to pursue this,
Yeah. I mean, he was getting written a lot about in Japanese newspapers and stuff, so maybe. Who knows, Wouldn't it be so funny, though, if another guy, like, married another iteration of Hatsune Miku, and then they, like, met up and, like, fought about it?
It's going to be like an NFT thing,
She's mine!
I own the rights.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
this bored ape is my husband. Oh, God, that's disgusting.
I do want to add a later time, though, because it has been since May, since this event happened. I kind of want to, like, do some digging and later on.
Maybe like his wedding anniversary, we'll find the date and whatever week that falls on.
I just want to check in and see how he's doing.
Yeah,
because he said his love for her hasn't changed, so
yeah,
he's obviously gonna keep doing things. But whatever, just in the area of news too, it's not a perfect transition, but
that's a hard one to come back from.
Yeah. Netflix got a bunch of non-exclusive global streaming rights. So I think they picked up in the article. It says like 40 new anime. It doesn't say which ones. I know Hunter x Hunter is going to be on there now as of September 2nd, and Monster, I think, is the one, like the big one that everybody was, because like, I guess Monster is one of those anime that outside of, you know, downloading it or buying the DVDs from Japan and then putting in your own like sourced subtitles over the Japanese ones, like there's no way to really watch Monster.
Really?
So that the fact that it's coming to Netflix, I think that's the one people were like, hell yeah, okay, you know, we can watch that. The other ones are all just like a, you know, like they got a lot more rights and they're kind of trying to be a competitor to Crunchyroll and kind of provide more anime on Netflix.
Okay.
Which is cool, especially because, you know, Netflix is fucking expensive now.
Yeah. What? It's like up to 15 now?
Yeah, it's like $15 or $16 if you don't want ads and good quality. If you want, if you like take the ads and stuff, it's like $7 to $9. But,
but not worth it.
It's like you have ads, you know.
Yeah.
And at least Crunchyroll's still like $8 and no ads, good quality. Like if you're gonna watch anime,
I
like
15.
This doesn't encourage me to get Netflix any more than it did, you know.
Right.
But I guess a lot of these anime that were like, you could find them on YouTube as well, have been taken off of YouTube because now they have the licensing for them and everything. But I've never seen Monster. I know nothing about it.
Yeah.
But that's the one people seem pretty excited about. So maybe it might be something worth like going to and watching just to see, because it's like, it's one of the classics.
Okay.
You know, to a lot of people. So
yeah, it's, you know, it's obscene at this point. I mean, what was it that, and we talked about this recently, I think, that like Disney was acquiring?
Disney Plus was getting Bleach.
Yeah, that's right, which people are kind of discontented with, which I don't think that's confirmed.
It's not. I think it's a rumor, and that would be exclusive rights. So I think that would mean that Bleach wouldn't be streamed on anything else.
Yeah.
Light goes down.
Light down. All right.
She is running around, zooming.
Oh, is it Saya?
Yeah. Yeah, but people were excited about that one, and I think they even mentioned it here in the comments of this, what I was looking at, that like, no, they don't. But I saw it. Somebody was talking about like the exclusivity rights rumor of Bleach on Disney Plus. And they kind of went into a little more detail about it, but so that'll be interesting. But also, this is another thing I saw. I know I was just talking about how I couldn't really get into Spy Family, but you liked it. It just got registered as like one of the most watched anime with like 400 million views on some website or something, some ranking system. But Spy Family Part 2, they put out this visual, and I guess October 1st is going to be when Part 2 comes out.
Okay.
So for anybody who's into Spy Family, which seems to be most people, maybe
it's popping.
Maybe I should actually get around to watching it, but I still haven't even fucking watched Overlord. Yeah, I haven't even watched the fucking OVA for Mushoku Tensei.
Oh, that's right. And
like I have an ever-growing list of things I need to watch.
Yeah, I'm still finishing out Hunter x Hunter, which I don't think will take that much longer, except now I have a good 36 episodes of something else now.
Yeah.
But
which we can get into after this.
Yeah, but
the only reason why I put this one on here is because I love these names, and this is a new one.
Yeah.
I've somehow gotten stronger when I improved my farm-related skills.
I could get behind that. That's just
It's just another fucking long-ass blurb name, and they're just so funny, man. But I saw this, and I just wanted to kind of touch on that. But
I love that just because I've been loving like the farm sims for games. So, you know, I started with Stardew, but I found one called Pomo Farm, which is kind of a dumb down your cute little ducks that do some farming. And it's a popular theme. You know, Square Enix is actually coming out with one, I think, called something Harvest, not Harvest Moon, but like something Harvest that's going to be like a really well done farm sim. Like, think of like Final Fantasy graphics.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's on Steam right now. Like, you could preview it and everything, but
I am.
Do you know anything about this?
This one?
Yeah.
No, I just
saw
put it
the
on.
title.
I put it on here as the last
Yeah.
thing I'd bring up in the news aspect, because there's not really a whole lot going on. It's pretty much just like Netflix getting more licensing and
Yeah.
Spy Family Part 2 coming out and a couple other things that just, didn't really seem worth mentioning to me when I was going through what was going on. Sai, what are you doing?
Is that a die?
No, it's not. It's a piece of a microphone that's now under the oven.
Oh, sweet.
But I just thought this was a funny name that
Yeah.
I would mention on. But I mean, you brought it up that you got 36 episodes of something new to watch, so we can kind of slide into we swapped anime favorites.
Just one thing I want to say before we segue into that is just a random thought that come into my head, but like, what's it called? Like the Cameo or the something where you could like pay like
Cameo,
yeah. The like Halo voice actor to just to read this. Like, I've somehow gotten stronger when I improved my farm-related skills. Or just, that would be a
killing spree.
Yeah, a stupid thought aside, yes. So we talked about this last episode that we were going to do an anime swap. So we're going to give just kind of a quick rundown, like impressions, because I think we each got about 4 episodes. You watched a little more, but you kind of got caught with recap episodes, incidentally. So we both have about 40 episodes to complete, where, maybe an episode from now or 2 episodes from now, we could give like, oh, this is what I thought of the series for like the complete swap, but we could just go over impressions, for the time being. I watched Mushishi, which Ryan has brought up, I think, numerous times now on the channel. It's one of his favorites, which I think I had never seen remotely.
I think I was thinking about it a week or 2 ago that, like, if anybody ever asked me, like, my favorite anime, that's probably just going to be my go-to, so I don't have to, like, well, I don't know. I'd just be like, oh, Mushishi. Just because it is really good. I have no complaints with it.
Yeah.
I love the show. The slow pacing. We've talked about it before, but, I mean, this is... What did you think of it so far? You're 4 episodes in.
So 4 episodes in, there's a lot I could say about it. But for one, I didn't expect the intro. I call it the Beatles intro. It sounds like an old like acoustic Beatles song.
Yeah.
But it's so like relaxing just as a show, like the music, the theme. But as relaxing as it is, like as far as like the world and aesthetically, like I won't say it's not stressful by any means, but it's heavy. Each episode, it's not one. I can't say you could burn this one where you could just like watch it back to back.
Yeah.
I needed a few minutes after I'd let the outro run just to digest what I had watched, because and you had mentioned this, and I see what you're saying now, where each episode is different. Like it's not like this purely chronological story.
Yeah.
I think you get to find more about is it Ginko?
The main guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ginko, you get to find out a little bit more about him, kind of like his cigarette and why he carries that around all the time.
I can't remember how early it happens, but did it go over like his childhood more so?
It hasn't touched on his childhood yet. So all I know about him is that he's a Mushishi. His cigarette wards off Mushi. And that's why he's constantly smoking it.
Yeah.
And he has a glass eye that he actually took out and gave to somebody, injected Mushi into it, which that was funny to me. I'm like, how is he injecting in a glass? But besides the point, that gave her a real eye because of that. But like, it touches on these really like heavy topics, these ailments that the Mushi cause, where it's such a fascinating thing that they're not like evil. It's not like evil spirits, where I think a lot of time you look at series, there's like these yokai that are like mischievous and kind of like these calamities. But the Mushi really, it's kind of like a natural order of the world. It's like an illness that you would get. It's not good or evil. It's just, it's there. It's present. And Mushi are they're on the spectrum, this plane. He explained it like, if we're up here, farthest from the heart, and we go down like animals, plants, it's like closest to the heart. Like they're the kind of embodiment of life itself.
Yeah.
So really it's just reflections of life in ways, but they cause these ailments. So what I had seen so far, I'm like, damn, like 4 episodes deep already. It touches on the girl that was in the head family that was taking care of kind of the branch family. She was cast out because she was super sensitive to light and was losing her sight. And it was like explaining how the Mushi was causing that, and like he healed that. And then the hearing one, and then the dream one, really, it was like, that was the last one. That was episode 4 I watched. So I know I'm kind of like ranting right now, but it was fascinating to me because like this guy has these mushi that are present in his dreams that he thought gave him premonitions. So he believed that he could see into the future and these things would come to fruition, but they were actually causing his dreams to project into reality.
Yeah.
So he lived in a small village, and that would bring a lot of fruition to the village. Like, you know, they would find a water vein and have a good harvest, and all these good things would happen. And then he started taking a medicine to nullify it, that Ginko gave him like prior, you know, because he wasn't taking the medicine because everyone's like, oh, this is great. And then he wasn't able to see this tsunami that came forth. But the thing is, he didn't cause it. It wasn't his fault. It was a natural occurrence, but he thought it was because he stopped taking the medicine, took his daughter away. She was at the coast. So things kind of went downhill from there where he's like, fuck this, I'm not going to take the medicine anymore. And then the dreams started coming to fruition again, but he had a nightmare where everybody he encountered had this green fungus that started at the fingers, and they just fucking like turned to nothing. It just ate away at him, and it happened to his wife and then the entire village. And then he tried to like take, you know, a suicide level dosage. I don't know if I could say that. Might have to bleep that one, but
That'll be fine.
Yeah, to where like he just wanted to end it all because he lost his daughter and wife, and then like he'd realize it was almost shitty. It was so simple because they're trying to find where those mushi stay, because they're like, they have to be somewhere outside of his dreams.
Yeah,
they go to sleep in our reality, and like they're all stored in his pillow. Like the whole time it was just his fucking pillow.
Yeah,
they're in, and it was just so, it's such a melancholy show.
Yeah.
Like,
and you're right, it's not that it's stressful, it's just like heavy. It's like very calm. Like you can sit there and kind of just like feel like it is very heavy. It's not stressful or anything. It's just there are things like that are, you know, there's positives and there's very negative aspects to it as well, but they kind of like feel the same. Like the positive things that happen in the show still kind of like have this air of weight to them.
Right, which I like in the sense that there's that element of reality. Like as the Mushishi, he does a lot, but he can only do so much. Like the issue is never 100% resolved.
Yeah,
there was always a sacrifice or damage that can't be undone, but he mitigates it. It's never like, oh, everything's back to normal and reversed. It was just like he just tries to contain what's happening, contains it, and then they deal with the after effects thereafter. Yeah, you know,
it's not like it's not like your typical. He doesn't come to the village and exercise the Mushishi. He tries to either find a way to get the Mushi to move on, or educate the village in how to coexist with the Mushi.
Yeah.
That's like the whole premise of it, which I think kind of is cool. You don't really see that very often. You know, you'll see a lot of like exorcising demons in villages, a lot of like sutras and monks and priests and stuff like that. But this guy is just going around, and I don't think it touches on it as early as you're in, but the reason why he's constantly smoking is because something happens to him that makes him attract Mushi. That's why he just doesn't stay anywhere.
Well,
he just keeps traveling to help people.
He had made a comment that because someone had realized, like, oh, there's a ton of Mushi around here. He's like, oh, it's probably because I'm here.
Yeah.
He did make a comment. It was the boy in the forest that had been going deaf, or like at first, you know, hearing all the sounds and then going deaf, that grew the horns.
Yeah.
But that is, it seems like he attracts them, you know?
Yeah. And when it goes over his childhood and stuff, which I don't know if it's in the first one, it might be in Mushishi too.
Okay.
That it does that. I can't really remember. It's been a long time since I've like actively watched the show. Sometimes I'll just throw on a random episode and just watch it and be like, yeah, this is nice.
Yeah.
But since I've actually sat down and watched the show, it's been probably at least like 2-3 years.
Wow. Yeah, you know, and it's I set a whole theme too, like with my lights, the Philips Hue, I set them to like there's kind of these like very calm greens with whites and yellows. It's called Sunday Morning on the Hue, but it like fits the theme of the show, and I try to like get them because it's the show. It's, you know, the expense of sounding basic. It's a mood.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a fucking vibe.
It's a fucking vibe, dude.
It's a fucking vibe.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Well, did you have any other comments on it, or we can move into my experience.
Yeah, so I guess the only comment I would make now is just that, I'm looking forward to it unraveling and kind of finding out. I feel like slowly they're trickling in things about him.
Yeah.
As he traverses.
And you'll get more information about the world and stuff too. That's kind of like the serialization of the show. It doesn't like follow one overarching story, but it more so is just like as you watch it, you understand more about the world and Ginko and Mushi and stuff like that, and it just becomes something that when things are happening, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Like more so than you did.
Yeah, good Rex, dude. Good Rex, yeah. So,
and I watched Nana.
Yeah.
Which, am I right? I think when I was getting it, because I completely illegally, or allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
I had to do some finding of it, but it was from 2006.
Yeah.
It looks so much older than 2006, I feel like.
It definitely, I feel like it fits that vein, because think of 06 as kind of like Death Note.
Yeah.
Vampire Night.
And I mean, I guess in the sense of like the kind of show it is. I mean, I don't have like, many big grand things to say about it like that. I enjoyed it. It was good, but it definitely is a completely different vibe. It's like it's more of kind of like your rom-com-y with some actual heavier topics and stuff, which I thought was a really good part of it. It's kind of like the I got rejected, so I shaved and took in a high school runaway, where it's like it is that kind of like style of anime, but it still touches on those actual real world possibilities and problems and things that happen. But I mean, first and foremost, I got to say the music in it, top notch.
Yeah,
absolutely top notch.
Oh yeah,
the intro and outro and stuff, it's fucking good. But yeah, the animation, I guess it's because it is that kind of show that it's like from that time period. Like Death Note probably did have like a lot more of the darker shadings and a little more like essence to it. This one is just kind of like it is the story.
Yeah,
it looks very like the character design is very One Piecey.
Yeah, yeah, kind of has that
like the string beanie looking characters
features,
and stuff.
Yeah,
but it is really. So far, the story is pretty captivating. I fucked up, though, because like the first 3 episodes that I got were season 0. And it was like very fast-paced recaps, and I was watching them, and I was like, okay, maybe it's just like getting me up to speed to where the story starts. And then I got to episode 1, and it's where the first recap episode started, so I was like, fuck, okay, well, now I know a little bit of what's gonna happen. You know?
Better understand it,
It did make me excited for it, because in that first episode, it's the same thing as like when you were showing me the clips of it and everything. It was like, I don't know, it didn't look like something I'd be into, mainly because of the art style.
Yeah.
It's not really my thing, you know? I don't like the string beanie and the aesthetics of it and everything, but I kind of liked where they were going with the recaps, and then watching the show once I was getting into the second, third episode where it goes back to the lighthearted Nana. I don't know. I mean, I know she gets her nickname early on. I don't know if that actually sticks around for long. So the orange hair Nana or brown or whatever it is. It's like orange, right?
Brown,
Yeah, but her, like when it goes back to her high school experience and stuff, that's where I really started to get like captivated by the story. Because the first episode is pretty fast paced and how things happen and they become roommates and everything. But it definitely is. I will watch it, especially being 47 episodes. Like
that's where, because it does start off a little. I don't want to say more lighthearted, but with less severity.
Yeah.
As you progress through the story, there's definitely more like it's almost like I describe it as like skins, like punk rock skins in an anime where there's like, drugs, infidelity, sex, rock and roll. That's kind of like the whole premise of the show, heartbreak, friendships, and it's
which I can kind of understand from just touching on some of the topics they do in the first few episodes. I'm not surprised in knowing that will be a part of the show. Being 47 episodes and already kind of introducing some of these things early on in those first few episodes.
Yeah.
I definitely see that, but I'm pretty stoked to watch the rest of it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's definitely because I didn't anticipate it to be how it was either, because I remember earlier you kind of made a comment too. You thought it was to be kind of just more like K-On, where it's like they meet and they all form a band, but it's more like the band is a big proponent of it, but like it's more about their lives, you know.
Yeah.
And you'll definitely see it. Like it's kind of like seeing the, you know, people in the garage, let's start a band, to like stardom. You see that kind of, you know, how lives can change in that regard. And it's definitely, I could see, like, because I like the aesthetic of the art style in the anime, but that's very much a preference. I can see why you wouldn't like it. Yeah. Because it's not like conventional, especially to like standards now, you know, but it's really held up in the sense as far as the show itself, like they're still putting figures out and it retains its popularity.
Well, I mean, I think that's where like it got me, in the sense that like looking at it, it's never something I'm really interested in. It's not even just the time period, because there's anime from that time period that I really enjoy, but this one is definitely like the design and everything looks a lot like One Piece, which I've bitched about a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't like that kind of character design and aesthetic, but the actual aesthetics that they put into the show, not just how it's drawn or how it's animated and all that, like, it's pretty cool. Yeah. I'm not against it, you know?
It's very, I think the term is shoujo. I think it's shoujo is that style.
Like
that's
high school romance.
Yeah, and you see that in like manga too and stuff. Like those very detailed eyelash, glistening eyes, but like the string beanie kind of characters, you know.
It's pretty close, not directly similar though to like Blue Spring Ride and Orange and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Yeah, but those ones I really liked. It's a little different. I think it's a little more preferable in the art style for those ones to me, but it definitely is like one of those things. It's like, if the stories to those ones weren't as entertaining, I probably wouldn't like them as much as I did.
Right.
But it's also, have you ever seen White Album?
No.
It's like a very like promiscuous, like idols and stuff.
Okay.
It's kind of like harem-y, but it's kind of that same thing of there's a lot of more adult topics that are covered, and I think it is primarily mostly like an infidelity thing, but I remember going through White Album and it was like it was like it was the drama, you know? It was like watching like a soap opera. Yeah. And it was just, it wasn't that it was interesting, it was just like, what's gonna happen, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I feel like I get that same kind of vibe from Nana, that it's like, even I will be able to look past my disinterest in how it's, you know, how the art style is, because it seems like the story, I mean, even in the first couple episodes, it's like the story is already grabbing, you know? So when it progresses, being 40, because I also didn't know it was 47 episodes. I thought it was more something like 12, and it was just going to be like a quick little banger. But knowing that it has that run where there will be meat and potatoes.
Oh, bro, yeah, I binged it. So it was one I started and finished within a week, respectively. You know, but it definitely it gets like, it has those cliffhangers to it, you know. And there was a lot of thought put into it, like kind of an interesting side note, but Nana is based off of two things. So kind of like Nana, and then dude, his name's slipping me right now, but Ren. So Ren, kind of like the guy that she's interested in, you know, with the lock necklace. He's based off of Sid Vicious. Yeah. And
well, she says it in one of those flashbacks where she's like, she gives it to him as like a Sid Vicious necklace.
Because he was a fan, and she's kind of like the Nancy, you know. But also Nana, the character, the punk Nana, she's based off of Anna, I forget her name, but she's a real punk singer from Japan that does the soundtrack for it. So it was based off of her, like her character was based off of this musician who then agreed to do the soundtrack for the show. So all the music, like even while they're playing in the show, is her that wrote those songs, like in her band, which is pretty fucking cool how they like did that, you know? Yeah. Because like the manga is much older than the anime. I think it took some time to animate it, but like even with all that time and like it being based off of her, she was like, hell yeah, and did like, you know, the music for the Black Stones. And then there's another musician, and you'll find there's another band later on that's kind of, you know, a part of it. But yeah, a lot of thought was put into it.
Yeah. Yeah, it does seem interesting. I'm excited to watch some more of it.
Yeah.
So. I like it, yeah. You know, I'll give you a Nux too. Good
Awesome.
recommendation.
Yeah, yeah.
Because every time you've brought up Nana, I've always looked at it. I'm like, I can see why he likes it, but it doesn't seem like something I would be into.
Right.
But now, you know, that we've done this, I was just like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it makes so much sense though. Like Mushishi on my end, Nana on your end. Like they are truly two anime that I feel like encapsulate our interests so much.
Yeah.
Like they are.
Oh yeah.
It is the perfect swap of anime just between us two and our aesthetics and the things we like.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mushishi, my interest in like feudal Japan, slower animation, very like, you know, overly not philosophical, but like very serious,
existential,
like existential shit like that. And then
Mm-hmm.
you with like the, you know, they in the first couple episodes, she's got like the designer rings and her style and the punk musicians and just everything that it is. It's like I feel like they represent our personalities so well.
It was really the ideal swap, and it was the thing that it's like watching the show is like kind of is like a sappy shit, but it's like what we appreciate about each other.
Yeah.
We get to see through a show, you know, but because it was one of those, it's just interesting that, yeah, Mushishi was one that I had always seen, but I just never felt compelled to like click on it.
Yeah.
You talked about it for so long, so it was kind of necessary to be like, okay, let's do the swap, where I feel like not an obligation, but I'm like, oh, this is like, I'm gonna make the effort to watch it, to like understand it, because you must like it for a reason, you know?
Yeah.
So
it's definitely well worth. And I mean, you know, I like these kinds of shows like Nana, but the art style has always kept me away. So to have somebody recommend it so wholeheartedly, I think, it's just the same thing. It's like without this, we would never have watched these shows.
Yeah.
They just were ones that were not like clickable for us, being the people that we are. But
Right.
I mean, I think it worked well.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, definitely. So you have a game.
Oh yeah, we're back. Oh, no, stop. Okay, so a couple quick things. One, explanation of the game.
Okay.
It's riddles. And you have to guess the anime based on the riddle.
Okay.
One quick thing though. I'm going to say the riddle one time and then let me know whether or not you immediately know it. And regardless of it, like don't immediately answer. I'm going to read it one more time just so if anybody's listening and they want to try to guess along, it's like the answer isn't immediately given, so they'll have like 10 to 15 seconds. Some of them I think are going to be kind of hard, but I've tried to pick anime that you know. Some of them are a little more challenging. But
So don't give the answer right away.
don't give the answer right away. Just I'll
Kind of
read
like
it.
the Dora the Explorer thing.
Yeah, I'll read it
Okay.
once, and then like you can tell me like, oh, I know this,
Okay.
and then I'll read it one more time, just so you know. I'll get 2 reads of each riddle in,
Okay.
and then if you can guess if you know it, and I'll let you know if it's right or wrong. They're all just 2 lines, and I tried to make them rhyme.
Okay.
So we'll just get into it and see how it goes. So the first one. I'm always hungry, just not for rice. In search of something, a single slice. Do you know it? I'm always hungry, just not for rice. In search of something, a single slice.
No.
No?
No.
It's One Piece.
Oh, like slice of a treasure?
Well, like One Piece, single slice. One Piece, single slice.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
See, that one is challenging, though.
Yeah.
That was challenging.
All right, let's try. They might get a little easier.
Okay.
But try to think of it like that.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
it might be tough.
Okay.
But,
I understand now.
all right, so this one. Battles gods to space with my friends. Our numbers grow smaller, if not for a wish. It's also like keywords, too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so the words kind of like play into...
Dragon Ball?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Dragon
Hell
Ball
yeah.
Z. All right. So this one is burn down your home to travel afar, the sins of the father and murderous scar. And I'll try to read it one more time.
Okay, I think I have this one.
Burn down your home to travel afar, the sins of the father and murderous scar.
Full Metal?
Yep.
Yep.
That's that one. I did that one instead of like, and murderous scars.
These are really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of scars, I did scar to like kind of like that's your give.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
All right, so another one. This one you might not get because I don't think you've watched it, but I come from the present to sift through the past for objects of plenty that one mostly has. I come from the present to sift through the past for objects of plenty that one mostly has.
I would have said Hunter x Hunter, but I don't know.
I want to say close, but it's
Would
not.
have been an off guess, yeah.
It's Inuyasha.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're searching for the jewel shards. Naraku has most of them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one I thought of that I was like, I don't think he's seen it, so he probably won't get it, but I'm trying to... I thought it would be fun for if anybody's listening and they want to try to guess the anime, it might be fun too. Okay, this one might be tough, but you definitely know this one.
Okay.
A world within the world, though only through screens. As wires connect, it's harder to leave.
I think I have this one.
A world within the world, though only through screens. As wires connect, it's harder to leave.
Serial Experiments Lane.
Yep.
I think wires, and that immediately...
Yep.
Yeah.
See, that's what I tried to do, is I tried to make them like
Some
fun
keyword,
riddles,
yeah.
but yeah, like they have keywords within them that like kind of tell to the anime. All right. Next one. I'm stuck in this place I thought I would love. My skill with the sword will help me rise above.
I think I have this one.
I'm stuck in this place I thought I would love. My skill with the sword will help me rise above.
Sword Art Online.
Yeah, buddy.
Those are so good, dude, bro. Those are good. Those are good. You need to make this a thing.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4 more.
Okay.
My hunger is great. For me, it's a change. If only I never had cared for her name. My hunger is great. For me, it's a change. If only I never had cared for her name.
I don't know this one.
No?
Yeah.
Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh, it's Rizzy.
Yeah.
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 Whoa, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I did all of these like when I woke up this morning.
You're like, I feel like doing this. Yeah.
It was literally, I woke up and it was the first thought I had. I was like, you know what? We're recording the podcast. It's been 6 months, I wanted to do something special, but I made no preparation. So I just started writing riddles.
Yeah. No, that works.
This one might be a little harder because I don't know if you've seen it, but...
Okay.
Ooh, God, I'm out of breath. A message from me to change the future I hate. I'll do what I can to keep this friend of mine safe. A message from me to change the future I hate. I'll do what I can to keep this friend of mine safe.
I'm just going to go off on a limb and say Future Diary.
No.
Okay.
Steins Gate.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Shit, that's good. Yeah. And I've seen Steins Gate, son of a bitch.
That one was like a message from me. Like
yeah, that makes much more sense. I was just like getting desperate there.
Yeah. We got 2 more.
Okay.
Let's see. The angels descend to earth yet again. You're wasting my time. Just get in the mech.
Oh, God. Angel beats? No, Evangelion.
Yeah. Yep. That one was a gimme.
Just get in the mech.
This one might be tough.
Okay.
A god cursed by iron from lands to the west. A curse of my own from hatred he kept.
Okay.
A god cursed by iron from lands to the west. A curse of my own from hatred he kept.
I'm going to say Berserk.
No.
Okay.
Princess Mononoke.
Oh, okay. Oh. Wait, how does the iron...
The god, the boar god in the beginning,
Yeah.
the reason why he's cursed is because he was hit with an iron bullet from the
Oh,
camp that is
okay.
deforesting that area to make iron.
Oh, okay,
And
yeah.
like make the guns and stuff, and then he curses Atsuki, or whatever the fuck his name is, and then he curses him with his hatred, and he travels to the west to go see like what's going on.
Right.
But let's see how you did. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 out of 10. That's 50%.
Yeah,
baby.
yeah, that's a good first run.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote all those this morning. That was what I brought. I was actually real stoked about it. I didn't want to like mention it to you or anything, just because I thought it'd be funner. But I was excited to bring those up. Some of them are pretty good. I gotta say, I gotta hand it to myself. It was very confusing.
Here, I have one off the top of my head. I'll just give you one.
All right.
Right here, I thought of. These hands give me pleasure. These hands give me pain. I know not where my hand came from, but my hand knows my name.
Parasite.
Yeah. I just tried to do one on the fly.
Yeah, fucking Migi.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was good. I mean, I've got nothing else. I think we still got some time. You know what? I never started recording the video.
On God?
On God.
For real?
No cap.
No cap.
Hold on, let's just... Hi.
Hi. Hey, welcome. Welcome back.
Oh, I swear, man, we're never going to get it right. We still got
I hear the voice in the distance. No wonder you can't get to 50 subs. I've been stuck at 48. God, since the Edo period.
I swear when I started this, I pressed the start record after doing that one to do the clap, but whatever, fuck it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
Well, we're here at the end, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the camera dies right now?
That would just be divine comedy in its greatest.
You know what? At this point, though, I think it's like part of the charm, though, that we have to have some mistakes just sprinkled in there. You know, it's the seasoning of our podcast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, it's what makes us us.
It's not perfect. Yeah, you know, that's exactly it. We're out here setting examples of what a podcast needs to be. Imperfect.
You know, we could call it wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi.
Wabi-sabi?
The Japanese expression for it's like perfectly imperfect. I don't think that's the translation, but kind of meaning like the beauty in the imperfections.
Yeah.
Like the idea of wabi-sabi, and you see this in a lot of Japanese asceticism, is like they would have like a cracked vase.
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh, this is ugly, now let's get a new one, they would fill the cracks with gold.
Yeah.
So it would kind of show each vase was different because it would have its own unique cracks, and there's beauty in... It's kind of like the beauty of nature, where it's like a tree is not a perfectly straight line, but it has those odd curves and everything.
Yeah.
It's
they grow in their own way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So,
that's exactly us. This
yeah.
podcast is a broken vase that we're slowly
pouring gold into.
Mending back together with gold to fill the cracks. I mean, I feel like we've been through everything. That was honestly, I thought that would take a little longer on the riddles, but
So
we still got some time, so
tune in next time for our 24-hour muck stream.
it's not going to be like a mukbang. It's actually just going to be a 24-hour stream of muck from Pokemon.
Oh God. Yeah.
We say, dude, we just say like, muck, like, what does muck sound like?
Muck.
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 24 hours of us just saying muck.
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 All proceeds go to charity of your choice. Muck.
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 Muck. Hey, thank you for the bits. Muck. Muck. Do a 24-hour stream of that. I mean, I guess we don't really have to hit an hour. Is there anything else you just wanted to bring up real quick, kind of close us off?
I mean, if anything, thank you for the gold, kind stranger. I didn't expect it to blow up like this.
What?
What is that, like the Redditor's creed?
Oh, yeah. I don't get on Reddit very much these days. I used to be real into Reddit, not like into Reddit, but like my main form of like just scrolling through and finding random articles and stuff, because it was like a collective of
Reddit
things,
is a good tool, but it's not a means.
Yeah.
Because I hate, God, the worst thing to have notifications on for is Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
Where like the Haunted Mound Cemetery Reddit kept popping off. I'm like, I don't care this much about it.
Yeah. And just like Redditors in general. Like
Yeah.
if you're perpetually on Reddit, just stop. Just get off.
It's like, take a drink for every passive aggressive.
Yeah.
You'd be dead. You'd have liver poisoning in no time.
It's not quite as bad as Twitter, but it's pretty much just like it's turned into all social media, man. Like the comment section of any social media platform is just fucking awful.
That's why I liked Tumblr. There were barely any words, and if they were like poems. They were well thought out.
Yeah.
Well constructed, you know?
Poetic.
I don't want to know the thoughts, the rantings and ravings of the general populace. That's sickening. I want to vomit at the thought of that, you know? And yeah, we subject ourselves to going onto Twitter and Reddit and even in Instagram, and sometimes you just want to deaden the noise.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm amazed, honestly. Sometimes I'll like see somebody tweet something and I'll go to the comments and just like looking at what people are saying about that subject. I'm amazed that there is that many people in the world that feel these ways.
That's the thing. And because you look at it too and you realize like the world is certainly not a perfect place and there's a lot of terrible things that go on in our existence. But if you were to base it off of just what you read people say on the internet, you're like, how the fuck is it even functioning?
Yeah.
If these are the people that are integrated into it.
Well, that's the thing, man. The real world is something vastly different than the perpetually online, you know?
Yeah.
Which is just, it's become more and more of a thing.
Yeah.
But
like, it's almost, think about this. Can we say it's more of a unification, integration of the internet in the real world, or is there a more of an obvious separation building, you know?
I don't know. I don't think I myself get out enough to like be able to clearly tell the difference, but my very small interaction with the world outside of the internet is like, I think the internet is they're two separate things.
Yeah.
You know, it's very clear. It's not like a joining of reality and internet life.
It's a very distinctive separation of the two.
There's a large amount of people who are just perpetually online, and if you go out and like talk to people who are also outside and not getting their sole interaction from the internet, it's a different world, you know? Like these things are still happening and people still feel these things, but like you're not going to see two people at the gas station like arguing over something that's happening, you know? They're going to be doing that in their car and then go into the gas station and be like, hey, thank you, have a good day. And then go back to their car and not even knowing that the person they were arguing with was the person they just like smiled to in the gas station.
The funny thing too is we're in a generation where I feel like there's, I'll just say, you know, boomers I'm sure there's a few generations now that encompass this, but there are people that have been largely unaffected by the internet. Mm-hmm. Like they still have never been on Facebook. They don't really, you know, they're like, oh, the computer box? Yeah, I don't really use that for too much, but the Google sometimes, you know.
You talking to your friends and then in the computer?
But yeah, it's like they're really unaffected by those things. They don't really pay attention to the news. They just go about their daily life as a, you know, general contractor. I'm like really talking about my dad right now. But just those guys, you know, you see their jeans and work boots covered in paint and they don't give a shit what's happening on Twitter.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, I got to put this poster up, try to get a little more clientele now, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel it kind of seems like a very happy way to live in some regards, you know?
Yeah. In one way or another, it is. I mean, there's always pros and cons to everything, but I always say that like I think it would be so nice to just like have a simple craft and not worry about what's going on in the world or what people are doing and just, you know, wake up, do your thing, go home, drink a beer and go to sleep.
I think there is largely a self-awareness now, though, of like people are more conscious of their internet usage, and we're finding tools and different ways to be more selective of the way we use it. So it's like you could be on the internet all the time. It's like, but you don't have to be on Twitter.
Yeah.
You don't have to be on this or that platform. You know, it's like you kind of curate it.
Social media more so, I feel like. But the thing is like the general public, the people who would not have like been drawn to the internet, because I'm an internet gremlin. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Like long before social media, I was rummaging through forums and articles and just on the internet, you know? But
it was a brighter time for the internet.
So, yeah. So, well, I mean, hit or miss. There's pros and cons to everything.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Everybody being so directly connected to the internet just means that, like, the only thing that a lot of people really use is social media. They're not, like, looking up how to do things, you know, using it for tutorials and guides for this and that. Like, they're literally just like, yeah, I got this new phone that, you know, does all this cool stuff just so I can scroll TikTok all day.
Yeah, and there's, that's to say, general usage of the internet and the social media are very, you know, separate from one another. I mean, one encompasses the other. But, yeah, I do remember a time where, because the internet could be a stressor, and it could bring joy now. But there was a time I remember where the internet was purely just a joy. Yeah. Like, as far as YouTube had, you know, it was new, upcoming, selected, hardly a curation, you could call it. Just, you know, if you saw it, it's because it had to be good. Nothing was artificially inflated. It was because it was a funny video. There was no ads, you know, and before, just watching, like, you know, Rafflemo, you know, just funny, like, this is funny. And then just being able to look up, you know, general factoids, things. Loved Wikipedia, you know. Yeah. And,
before, you know, everybody on the internet realized that you can just go on and like adjust things on Wikipedia. Like, it's still pretty good. Like, Wikipedia still has pretty good information, but sometimes you'll stumble across something and you can just obviously tell, like, somebody got a hold of this.
Right. And yeah, it's for, you know, Wikipedia is for looking up things that aren't valuable information, that aren't really that important. Yeah. Like, I wanted to find out what all of the Star Wars acronyms were for the different vehicles, like the AT-ATs. So Wikipedia is great for that. Now, if it's like something that's really important to your life, or like something you have to know is accurate information, I probably wouldn't use Wikipedia.
Yeah. Like, if I have a growth on my ankle, I'm not going to go to Wikipedia trying to figure out what it is. Yeah. I mean, you should just not use the internet for that anyways. Cause,
WebMD is probably not the best bet either.
I think everybody can agree, if you've ever looked up any problem you've had, it's cancer. Yeah. Every single time, it's cancer. Yeah. Even Mushi. I was looking up what was going on with Mushi just to, like, gauge whether or not, you know, it was worrisome. Yeah. And basically, any problem that anybody has, there is always some, like, well, it could be cancer. Yeah. And I'm just like, God, I shouldn't have Googled this, but sometimes it is worth it to just, like, take your symptoms and be like, how worried should I be for this? Yeah. And you get a pretty good indication of, like, you know, if my elbow hurts or something, like, is it just like a buildup of lactic acid or a strain or something, or do I have cancer? You know? But I mean, the internet is the internet.
Oh yeah, whatever. It is what it is. We branch into this topic so often too.
Yeah. Well, it's a really interesting topic. I mean, I feel like it won't be the last time we discuss it, just because I don't know, man. I wish I was more like research based and not AD. We were just talking about ADD again today too, that we're just like hyper fixated or like completely disregarding of progress or productivity. But I would love to like do a case study of the internet, of like how the kids now that are on social media with smartphones so early, and it's so integrated into like the middle school and high school experience of growing up and stuff. I've made this comment before of like driving around on weekends or weekdays and stuff. Like there's no kids outside playing. Even in the winter when it's nice outside, you rarely see kids at the park playing.
There's no what's called active leisure anymore. 2 books. One that I did complete, Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport. Doesn't talk, and like the name you would think would suggest like, oh, technology bad, you know, but that's not the case. He's saying technology is a great tool, but he talks about ways to use it, you know, and ways and parts of life that don't really need technology integrated, and how it's affected people. And it's a much more digestible read, opposed to, there's one called The Shallows. I'm forgetting the author, but it was like a 14-hour audiobook talking about like the inception of the internet to now, like a case study. Really interesting, but like a heavy digest. I've only gone a couple hours deep into that one, but that kind of talks about what you were saying, like what it was at its inception and what it is now, and it's fascinating.
Yeah, maybe I'll listen to that at work.
Yeah.
It is a very interesting topic, but I mean, with all that said and done, I'm done here. I think we're good. So
you've heard us rant and rave enough.
Yeah.
Thank you again for tuning in. We'll have a little more flavor for you again the next time, and take care, guys. Peace out.
One more for the road. It's a 5. Goodbye.
It's a 5.